YouTube, what is good? It is Esoteric Bay, aka Not Real, and today I'm coming at you guys with a video. I'm in country ass Lancaster County, South Carolina. So if you hear like a rooster, there's a rooster back there, whatever rooster is doing. But this gonna be a quick video. So today's video is titled "Art Imitates Life: The Handmaid's Tale." The reason why I'm making a video about this is because I love anthropologies, shows like Black Mirror and The Handmaid's Tale. They cock-a-doodle and doing. So before we go ahead and get into the video, please go ahead and comment, like, and subscribe. If you already are subscribed, please go ahead and hit the bell button so you can receive notifications whenever I upload. Alright, let's get into it. So, current events, so as you know, a lot of states have already passed stricter abortion laws or are in the process of passing stricter abortion laws, and the states that have already passed the successful abortion laws would be Alabama, Arkansas, Kentucky, Mississippi, North Dakota, Ohio, and Georgia. So Georgia just recently passed their heartbeat bill, which says that a woman is not allowed to get an abortion until when she hits 6 weeks, and that is because a baby gets its heartbeat when the mother is 6 weeks pregnant. Alabama, the legislature just passed a stricter abortion bill, which pretty much is like, nah, you're not allowed to get abortions, even in terms of rape and incest. I don't get the whole incest part, because I feel like, if you screwing your brother, sister, cousin, mom, dad, somebody like that, then you already know, like, you can't get mad if your kids come out looking like this.
It's breakfast time.
Alright, so states that have introduced bills that are pushing for stricter abortion laws are Louisiana, Missouri, South Carolina, where I am now, Tennessee, Maryland, Minnesota, Texas, and West Virginia. Alright, so a lot of people are feeling like, Roe v. Wade is going to get overturned, which it's very likely to get overturned. And it will be overturned in a matter of the right to life for the unborn child versus Roe v. Wade. It made abortion legal under the 14th Amendment of the Constitution, which also gives a clause to the right to privacy. So what might happen more than likely is that there is going to be switched from a 14th Amendment to a 10th Amendment, and instead of it going to a right to privacy, it's actually a right to life. And let's go ahead and talk about the Supreme Courts. So, Supreme Court justices, the Supreme Court it's supposed to have 9, and the reason why it's supposed to have 9 is so you can never have a tie. Judges are supposed to be nonpartisan, but people are humans and people have beliefs, so there's not really a party, but the term is political leaning, and right now we have 5 conservative justices, 5 politically leaning conservative justices and 4 politically leaning liberals. So those justices would be Justice John Roberts, Justice Samuel Alito, Justice Neil Gorsuch, Brett Kavanaugh, if y'all heard about him, he was the big case last year, and Clarence Thomas, the Bush appointee. And the liberal justices would be Justice Sonia Sotomayor. She was appointed by Barack Obama. Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Justice Alina Kagan, and Justice Stephen Breyer. So if you guys also heard about Ruth Bader Ginsburg, she's also, like, in my opinion, she's on her deathbed. But I don't see her, like, resigning or anything, because I'm pretty sure she's not going to try to, well, if she does want to step down, I don't think she's going to step down if Trump gets out of office, which I think Trump is going to get a second term. And the reason why I say that is because justices can't be removed, retire, resign, or they die on the bench. So, which it seems like Ruth Bader Ginsburg, she's going to die on the bench. So, one thing I want to note, if you pay attention, so out of the liberal justices, there are 3 females and 1 male. So, in a total, there are 3 female justices and 6 male justices. Roe v. Wade was actually ruled in 1973, and it was ruled 72. And they ruled that the Texas abortion law violated right to privacy, which is a clause. One thing I do want to point out, when Roe v. Wade was ruled on, it was majority conservative court. So I know it was largely conservative, but I was not able to find an exact political leaning. I want to include something about the fertility rates dropping. So actually today, this is an article that I got from CNN. U.S. fertility rate is below level needed to replace population. U.S. fertility rate is below level needed to replace population, study says. The total fertility rate for the United States in 2017 continued to dip below what's needed for the population to replace itself, according to a new report from the National Center for Health Statistics. The new report also reveals some major state-by-state differences in fertility rates in 2017 among 50 states and District of Columbia. Total fertility rates range from a rate of 2,227.5 births per 1,000 women in South Dakota to 1,421 per 1,000 women in D.C. A difference of 57% according to the report published Thursday. Overall, the total fertility rate for the United States in 2017 was 1,765.5 per 1,000 women, which was 16% below what is considered the level needed. I'm going to read that back to you. Overall, the total fertility rate for the United States in 2017 was 1,765.5 per 1,000 women, which was 16% below what is considered the level needed for a population to replace itself. 2,100 births per 1,000 women, according to the reports. So a replacement population is exactly what it seems. Let's say, in terms of a nuclear family, you have a mother and a father, or
2 moms, 2 dads, whatever. However you choose your family, I don't care. I believe in free will. Do what you do.
A perfect replacement would be a mother, father, son, daughter. Because once those parents died, you have the son and daughter to replace the dead mother and father. But an even better would be a 2 sons, 2 daughters, mother and father. And that's when those 2 parents die. Not only do those 2 parents die, but they also have 2 extra copies of themselves, so which is kind of pretty decent. Which means that, because population is supposed to grow exponentially, state-by-state differences in fertility. The new report was based on birth certificate data from 2017 provided by the National Center for Health Statistics through the Vital Statistics Cooperative Program. The researchers took a close look at state-by-state data and total fertility rates. Rates were measured as estimates of the national births that a hypothetical group of 1,000 women would have over their lifetimes, given what birth rates were by age that year. The researchers found that South Dakota, with a rate of 2,227.5, and Utah, with a rate of 2,120.5, were the only states with a total fertility rate above the replacement level in 2017. The report also showed the differences in total fertility rates by race among non-Hispanic white women. No states had a fertility rate above the replacement level. Among non-Hispanic black women, 12 states did. Caucasian Americans are not reproducing in terms of to replace themselves. So, but black people are, but only in 12 states. So I'm not really sure how that works out in a quantitative way. But yeah. And among Hispanic women, 29 states did. For non-Hispanic white women, the total rate for fertility was in Utah at 2,099.5, and the lowest in the District of Columbia at 1,000. Ooh, that's a big loss. At 1,012. Among non-Hispanic black women, the highest total fertility rate was in Maine at 4,003.5, and the lowest in Wyoming at 1,146. For Hispanic women, the highest total fertility rate was in Alabama at 3,085, and the lowest in Vermont at 1,200.5, and Maine at 1,281.5. The report has some limitations, including that for some groups of women, the number of births used as basis for calculating total fertility rate was small. Yet in general, although nearly all states lack a total fertility rate that indicates their total population will increase due to births, these results demonstrate that there's a variation in fertility patterns within states among groups according to race and Hispanic origin. The researchers wrote in the report, previous research has shown that U.S. birth rates appear to hit a record low in 2017, when the number of birth rates nationwide was at its lowest in 3 decades. Based on the data from the National Center for Health Statistics released last year, about 3,853,472 babies were born nationally in 2017, the lowest number in births in 30 years, and down from a 2007 record high of 4,316,233. There's a concern. The total fertility rate for the United States has been on a decline for a while, said Dr. Jones Benjamin, executive director for the American Public Health Association, who was not involved in the report. We have been seeing fertility rates go down, and I think it has a lot to do with women and men, couples in particular, having much more control over their reproductive lives, Benjamin said. Ding, 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 ding. For instance, between 2007 and 2017, total fertility rates in the United States fell 12% in rural counties, 16% in suburban counties, and 18% in large metro counties, according to a separate CDC data brief released in October. Additionally, provisional data on births that the CDC published in May noted that the nationwide fertility rate has generally been low replacement since 1971. When considering rates above larger periods of time, remember that we're coming off a peak of the baby boom generation. So it's also being tracked from the high baby boom that we had after World War II. So you're basically really looking at reductions from that high, Benjamin said. I think the concern is that there is a concern. It's having fertility rate that doesn't allow us to perpetuate our society, he said, but we may very well over time seeing this reversion flattened out, but that remains to be seen. So that was a report done by CNN, so I'm going to read the plot to Handmaid's Tale now. Plot. In the near future, fertility rates collapse as a result of sexually transmitted diseases and environmental pollution. With this chaos, totalitarian theonomic government, which means government that is based on a religious or spiritual belief and that government party is called Gilead, establishes rule in the former United States in the aftermath of a civil war. Society is organized by power-hungry leaders along with a new militarized hierarchical regime of fanaticism and newly created social classes in which women are brutally subjugated and by law are not allowed to work, own property, handle money, or read. According to an extremist interpretation of the biblical account of Bilhah, B-I-L-H-A-H, Bilhah? I don't know. Worldwide, infertility has resulted in the conscription of the few remaining fertile women in Gilead, called handmaids. They are assigned to the homes of the ruling elite, where they must submit to ritualized rape by their male masters in order to become pregnant and bear children for those men and their wives. Alongside the handmaids, much of society is now grouped into classes that dictate their freedoms and duties. Women are divided into small range of social categories, each one defined by a plain dress in a specific color, which if you ever seen this, they really look like, it's nothing to be offended by, but they look like Amish women, like literally, that's what everybody in the show looks like. They look like they're Amish. By plain dress in a specific color, handmaids wear red. Marthas, who are housekeepers and cooks, named after the biblical feature Martha. If you ever read the Bible, Martha, wear green, and wives, who are expected to run their household, wear blue and turquoise. Econo wives, the lower class women who still have minimum agency, are a sort of mixture of these categories, and they wear gray, a departure from the book in which eco-wives wear. Okay, so in the book, the eco-wives, they wear striped clothes versus gray, but in the show they wear gray. Women pioneers are called unwomen, and they'll work to death clearing toxic waste in colonies. Women prisoners. Another class of women, aunts who train and oversee handmaids, wear brown. Additionally, the eyes are a secret police watching over the general populace for signs of rebellion. Hunters track down people attempting to flee the country, and Jezebels are sex workers in secret brothels catering to the elite ruling class. That's the background to the show. That's the plot to the show. Art imitates life. Alright, y'all, peace and blessings. I hope y'all read between the lines. I couldn't paint a more blatant picture than that. Deuces.